The Wildlife-Recreation Coexistence Program supports our mission, ensuring that people can mindfully and respectfully enter the spaces we're trying to protect, connect, and restore.
We want them to be aware of their impact, not just on the landscape, but on wildlife that are moving through the forest and using that landscape as their home.
I've grown up as a skier, hiker, backpacker, biker. Learning more about wildlife recreation coexistence influenced how I recreate and enter into these wild spaces.
I think recreate with respect goes a little bit deeper than just leave no trace principles.
What the science really tells us is that, there's no such thing as passive recreation. There's no type of recreation that doesn't interact with wildlife in some way. Marbled murrelet, wolverine, bighorn sheep, elk, mule deer, mountain goat. There is a reaction that those species have to recreation, whether it be snowmobiling, whether it be backcountry skiing, whether it be hiking. The status quo in Washington is changing. Over the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw visitation spike from under 150 million to almost 170 million visitors to our national forests.
Sometimes we'll clean up and carry out over 4,000 pounds of trash in one day.
So Conservation Northwest and the Forest Service co-developed this project to mitigate some of the recreational impacts. We had vehicles driving through here across the creek, up over the boulders. So we've really restored some of the creek features, and the Forest Service will be developing the recreational use to protect the stream and keep vehicles closer to the road.
Human noise can disturb and displace wildlife more than previously thought.
The Forest Service is down in their funding, they're down in their staffing, so it's a big challenge facing our public lands.
The Wildlife Recreation Coexistence Program strives to better the relationship between outdoor recreation and wildlife. So with the Wildlife Ambassador Project, we visit highly popular trailheads and campgrounds, and we have seasonal staff and volunteers set up outreach tables because knowledgeable trail users most often equate to healthier wildlife.
I was at the Middle Fork trailhead in the Snoqualmie River. We just talked to everybody going into the wild, and we wanted to share what we can do to minimize our impact, and also if they encounter wildlife, how do we behave?
In our 2 summers of doing outreach, and we're so excited to do our 3rd, we've reached in total over 20,000 folks. I think that is a tremendous accomplishment and a big success story.
There's a lot of great people around here out on the trails. They really are concerned. Conservation Northwest is presenting the latest, the newest information out there.
Our second prong of the Wildlife Recreation Coexistence Program is our policy and advocacy side. Where we've been really effective is through the Recreate Responsibly Coalition, the biggest coalition of outdoor recreation stakeholders and groups in the state, where we're really thinking critically and asking ourselves, what does sustainable recreation look like? So this is a wildlife-proof structure here to keep our food and trash and other odorous items out of the reach of bears. And so it's accessible for a human, using dexterous fingers and open this up wide to store our coolers, our food.
Conservation Northwest, in conjunction with the Forest Service and Snoqualmie Tribe, had installed some new bear dumpsters. And I definitely hear that those have been phenomenal in reducing the bears going into the campground.
Is it possible for humans to recreate in sensitive habitats? Yes, we're doing it anyway, and so we need to look at solutions to find sustainable pathways forward.
As someone that lives in the heart of Seattle, these are places where I'm a guest and I'm visiting sometimes only for a couple hours. So think about wildlife coexistence from the minute you start planning your trip.
folks can choose to consolidate their geographic footprint of recreation, making sure that folks stay in hiking trails, making sure that they pick up their trash, pick up their food scraps.
I volunteer with Conservation Northwest because I like their broad scope of projects and making wildlife their focus. This effort, I think, is really paying off, not only for the enjoyment of the humans, but for the wildlife, the protection of their home.
I don't think that there is a conflict innately between wildlife and outdoor recreation. That's the essence of coexistence, is both can thrive, both can do well.